As a melee enthusiast, I just wanna say one thing. I love you DE for the glow cloak. I can finally see where I'm throwing my glaive when I'm stealthed as Ash. Thank you. The easiest way to explain something simply broken is Ash. Ash is one of the best Warframes for level cap. By why you might ask? Well, that is because he is broken in a very simple way. Invisibility in Warframe is one way to achieve immortality. Pair it with flexible augment mods and insane passive that synergizes with one of the best weapons in the game and the best status damage type in general. And I'm obviously talking about Glaive Prime and Slash. But don't worry, I got very simple alternative for the melee meta haters. But first thing first. My Glaive build is just a typical ordinary thrown weapon build with initial combo points. After we got melee Exilus slot, I just instantly slapped Dispatch Overdrive in it for all of my thrown weapons. For the Arcane, I use melee Exposure for anything that is not a level cap. If I want to do level cap, I swap to melee Crescendo and I swap out my Corp Charge. I stack my combo points by using either Vazarin or Fatal Teleport Augment, depending what I feel like really. And for my Ash build, I have two variants, but the most important thing to me is at least 2 yellow shards, Tau Forged, for the parkour velocity. Paired with Dispatch Overdrive, it makes for a wonderful combo. So, for my melee build, when I mainly use Glaive, I use Kullervo's Wrathful Advance and a Dog Primer with Viral on it. And that's not Panzer, that's our good boy Mecha Dog. Ready Steel for the initial combos paired with the Corrupt Charge. Coaction Drift to get that to 30 plus, so together with Corrupt Charge I got 60. Mobilize, even more parkour velocity, what else, nothing better. Precision Intensify, because I swapped my Bladestorm to Wrathful's Advance and I want the melee crit. Primed Continuity, Narrow Minded, we don't need any range. Preparation for the shorter missions, of course, you swap it out once you want to do level cap. And preferably you swap to Fatal Teleport for easy crescendo stacking. Blind Rage, it's only for the Wrathful Advance. But I basically just ignore any efficiency, I don't really use abilities often. I have long duration and a lot of strength for the 4. Why do I need the duration? Cause his invisibility cannot be recast. And many people struggle with that fact. So if you struggle with the duration on the smoke screen, well, there's only one thing you can do, which is Arcane Trickery. I don't have it, never struggled with it, but if you do, just get yourself Fatal Teleport and get yourself Arcane Trickery. Make sure it's up, and that's how you keep yourself invisible forever on Ash. But I just use more augmented for Wrathful Advance, I just like big crits. Nothing really matters in the end, because when you get handle of the gameplay with just staying invisible, basically nothing really matters, like Glaive does work perfectly for everything, no matter what you really play on it, because Slash is just wonderful. You also cannot get damaged because you're invisible unless you walk into the stray bullets. So just be careful, because most of the time when I die on Ash, this is exactly what I do. And Nourish is if you use primary. If you don't want to melee much and you wanna like shoot some, you just get the Nourish build. You can also use it with Glaive if you don't have Wrathful Advance. Builds pretty similar, same thing with preparation. We only don't have coaction drift there, because yeah, you don't need a ready steel here, so. And for any weapon with high crit strike chance plus 100 munitions. Voila! That's how you make Ash from melee to shooting. Simple. You just need Slash. And the whole thing about Slash on Ash is obviously his passive. Bleed effects inflicted on enemies do 25 increased damage and last 50% longer, and bleed bypasses armor. That means even on the level cap it deals with enemies pretty easily, especially if you're using Glaive, which has a forced slash status effect, and if you have Wrathful Advance, Arcane Fury, or even Primed Pressure Point, if you don't have Umbra of course, because I Umbrat my Glaive, because that's like one of the best weapons, so why not? I don't care, I have too many Umbras anyway. And then you can just use anything really. You can keep this if you don't want to stack, you can go for Blood Rush, anything really. It will completely annihilate the enemies no matter what level, no matter what. It's made to annihilate, and Ash just makes it just more brutal. And I honestly don't really know how to show you how good he is, because everything looks the same exact way no matter what level. Like, you just stay invisible in one spot and you throw your glaive. Unless you're doing Void Cascade, then you just run around. That's why we have our parkour velocity for. And that's pretty much it. That's why I always say, like, broken things are fun for first few minutes of the gameplay. Then you realize that broken is just boring. There is no challenge, and without challenge, there is no fun. Unless you wanna challenge yourself with something that's redundant, in my opinion, which is the level capping. And I will not be level capping often. I just did it a few times to see if I can do that and on what frame I can do that. I got sad that the frames I love the most I couldn't really do it on unless team play, but team play is just way too broken to consider ever, to be fair, because you have Octavia in your team, you're invisible, and you know, she makes everything broken, ramp is broken, so yeah. But if you wanna tune up your Ash even more, you can use Riven for Glaive in the spot of Corrupt Charge. Once you go to level cap, you can use Archon Shards, probably for the duration, most comfortable. Or just slap 5 of the parkour velocity, but I doubt you're gonna enjoy. But if you wonder why I don't really do level caps that often, or why I think it's redundant, well, it's simply because it takes way too much time. I honestly believe that this game needs level 2 steel pot or any like way to speed up the enemy level scaling. I don't wanna waste over 1 hour just to see 4 same numbers on the enemies. Like, I wouldn't mind do that like all the time if it took like up to 30 minutes, 45, but 1.5 hour plus, that's just not for me. I really like fast missions and fast pace of Warframe, because whenever you do a level cap or a long mission, it tends like it always ends up like you stay in one spot and you just spam one ability. And like I don't play Warframe for this. Warframe is one of the best, like most fun and engaging movement. Why would I just sit in one spot and like play like Korra, like put my Strangle Dome and spam my one? Like, no, man, just no. Look, even though I could sit in one place and AoE everything with my Acceltra, I just prefer to run around and enjoy my parkour velocity Archon shards. I swear I just cannot stand the game static. This game has such a wonderful mechanics for movement. Why wouldn't I enjoy them? Like, this is the main reason why I love Warframe. This bullet jump, double jump, spam. I don't think there is a game with a, like, clearly better movement than Warframe. And I would argue for the fact that Warframe has actually like the simplest but the best and most satisfying movement mechanic. This is probably why I love Kullervo, who can just like teleport and reset his bullet jump midair, or Voruna with her passive for increased parkour velocity, or Saren with her 2 making her sprint like crazy. And basically, like, there is one frame I could play kind of static, which is Ivara, because you can take control of the projectiles from her weapon. And I was like doing that for maybe like 3-4 times and I got bored. But I swear I got Korra, and she is broken, but she's very boring to play. And I would forget to mention that whenever you go for Glaive Prime, you use the mecha dock I made the video for, with Viral, for the priming. But if you go for the primary, you will use Worm Prime with Vigilante mods and a 50% crit strike chance weapon, wherever it is, just to have Vigilante mods and the 50% crit. So you activate your Tenacious Bond, which is on Worm. You will then need Worm Prime plus Shield Capacity mod and Reinforced Bond for the 60% fire rate. You can also use Arcane Rage, Arcane Rise, Arcane Acceleration, Arcane Tempo, Arcane Avenger, depending what you have and what weapon you're gonna be using. But if it's Glaive, Arcane Fury, Arcane Avenger can be good if you walk into the stray bullets. If not, Molt Efficiency is really good for the extra duration. He's very flexible and you don't really need all of that. Just remember, wherever you decide to use melee crescendo and go for the very long missions, it doesn't have to be level cap, just a long mission. Remember, Swap your initial combos from Glaive and the ready steel and put something else. Wherever you have, or even wherever it may be. But if you decide to stack your weapon with Crescendo, you don't need the initial combos, so you might use something that actually gives you something in the case when you have like Crescendo stacked to full, because that's gonna be an empty slot. Yeah, but that's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, see ya in the next one.